Hi everyone, and welcome to ABA Me. I'm Hannah Brown, a passionate board-certified behavior analyst with over a decade of experience working with children and teens facing behavioral challenges. I began working with children primarily on the autism spectrum in 2014. Since then, I've dedicated myself to learning the complexities of human behavior using science to separate fact from fiction. I have my master's degree in applied behavior analysis and my undergraduate degree in psychology. As a behavioral scientist, my mission is to uncover what truly drives change and improvement. On this channel, I'm excited to share with you general evidence-based strategies that help parents better understand and support their child. My video will provide you with practical, research-backed insight so you can make informed decisions and create meaningful, lasting change. I'm here to help you unlock that potential with actionable, science-driven knowledge. Let's dive in and start making those positive changes together. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more valuable content. Why does my child struggle to do hard things and how to overcome this? Every parent has faced the challenge of getting their child to do things they rather avoid, whether it's brushing their teeth, taking a bath, finishing homework, or completing chores. As adults, we understand the importance of these tasks, even though we sometimes struggle with them ourselves. While every parent wants the best for their child, it can often feel like an uphill battle when kids resist or refuse to listen and follow through with what we ask of them. The frustration of trying to help them understand the values of these tasks can be overwhelming, but there are ways to make these everyday struggles more manageable. Check out part 2, where I will provide additional reasons why your child may be struggling with completing hard things and how to address them directly. There are several key reasons why children might struggle to engage in task completion. It is important to keep in mind that there can be multiple reasons why your child is avoiding difficult things. Here are 3 main factors. Number 1 is our expectations versus their expectations. Number 2 is understanding their current capability level. And number 3 is identifying root causes of avoidance. Let's dive into each of these concepts in detail, examining the underlying causes and exploring the scientific principles behind them. We will also dive into practical strategies and actionable tips to help prevent these issues from occurring in the future. Number 1 is our expectations versus their expectations. Why it happens. Children tend to have different priorities and motivations than adults. They are often more focused on playing and engaging in fun activities rather than responsibilities or health and safety skills that do not seem fun. We understand that children's behavior is driven by what they find to be rewarding. If a task isn't perceived as rewarding, enjoyable, or relatable, then your child may have difficulty in completing it. Your child might also struggle from ending a fun activity and moving on to a more difficult task. Think about this. If your job requires you to attend additional training on a weekend without pay, you'd rather be spending time doing other activities, and you're likely to feel frustrated and disengaged, which could lead to lower motivation and a negative experience. This is an example of avoiding tasks that don't align with your interests or provide sufficient reinforcement. On the other hand, if the training is scheduled on a weekday and includes appealing incentives such as free food and social activities, your motivation is likely to increase. These additional incentives make the task more rewarding and aligning it with your social interests and needs, which would likely result in a higher engagement and a more positive experience. This mirrors research on how incorporating preferred activities or rewards can increase task participation and reduce avoidance behavior. Scientific insight. It is important to align expectations with your child's current interests and motivation. Identifying what your child finds reinforcing and incorporating those elements can significantly increase task engagement. Research indicates that aligning tasks with a child's interests can enhance engagement and reduce avoidance behavior. For example, A study published in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis found that incorporating preferred activities into a lesser preferred task led to a 60% increase in task completion rates among children with autism spectrum disorder. Moreover, children who were given a choice to engage in preferred activities alongside non preferred activities showed a 45% reduction in avoidance behavior. These findings suggest that customizing tasks to align with a child's interests not only increases their task engagement, but also promotes a positive behavioral outcome. How to address this? Making chores into fun games. For example, when cleaning up, you could turn it into a color identification game, such as find and clean up all the red toys. You could also allow your child to listen to music when completing chores or getting ready. Another way to make activities fun is allowing your child to have their favorite toy with them when completing the activity. These examples help connect an unpreferred demand with something fun. Number two is understanding their current capability levels. Why it happens. Children have different developmental levels and cognitive abilities. If a task is too difficult or outside of their current capabilities, they may avoid it because they feel overwhelmed or unable to complete it. A child's capability levels can vary day to day depending on many factors, including age and development, expectations, physical and mental well being, complexity of the task, confidence levels, and sleep quality. Imagine this: your friend calls you up and invites you to run a 5K with them next weekend. You haven't ran in over a year, and to make matters more challenging, you recently sprained your ankle. Given these circumstances, do you think you'll be able to perform at your best or even feel motivated to participate? Most likely, you'll feel hesitant, anxious, or discouraged because the task seems overwhelming and beyond your current abilities. This situation illustrates the psychological concept of self efficacy, which refers to one's belief in their ability to successfully complete a task. When the task feels too difficult or the circumstances too challenging, your self efficacy decreases, making you feel less likely to be motivated or perform well. Moreover, without proper preparation or gradual progression, the likelihood of avoiding the task or giving up increases. However, if your friend has suggested a more manageable goal, like starting off with a shorter walk or a beginner's run, you might feel more confident in your ability to succeed and be more motivated to participate. This aligns with the principle of breaking down larger goals into smaller, achievable steps, which can significantly improve motivation and performance. Scientific insight. It is important to break down tasks into manageable steps that are appropriate for your child's current levels and encourage them along the way. Breaking tasks into smaller, more achievable goals while making them fun and providing encouragement can significantly increase a child's motivation to achieve their goals. Breaking down larger tasks into smaller steps in combination with positive reinforcement leads to greater task completion and reduced frustration. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Applied Behavior Analysis found that children with autism spectrum disorder demonstrated a 70% improvement in task completion rates when tasks were broken down into smaller steps compared to when they were given larger, complex tasks without any breakdown. Additionally, providing verbal encouragement and reinforcement during task completion led to a 60% reduction in avoidance behaviors, showing that positive reinforcement is key in maintaining motivation. Another study conducted by Harris and Graham in 1999 highlighted that children who were given tasks that were broken down into smaller steps, along with regular feedback and positive praise, showed a 50% increase in task completion and a 40% improvement in overall academic performance compared to those who were given more complex, unsimplified tasks. How to address this? When you ask your child to clean up an entire playroom, it may feel like an overwhelming and daunting task, which could lead to resistance or avoidance behavior. To make this more manageable and motivating, start by breaking it down into smaller, achievable goals. For example, you could have your child clean up just 5 toys at a time, followed by a short break, and then tackle another 5 toys. This method of dividing tasks into bite sized portions makes it feel more achievable, reducing any feelings of frustration or helplessness. Over time, you can gradually increase the number of toys they need to pick up, allowing them to build confidence and a sense of accomplishment. This gradual increase follows the principle of scaffolding, where tasks are adapted to a child's current capability levels, fostering a sense of progress without overwhelming them. In addition to breaking down tasks into smaller steps, making cleaning fun and engaging, you could turn it into a game like setting a timer and challenging them to pick up as many toys as possible before the timer goes off, or pretending the toys are escaping and they need to be rescued. By adding an element of playfulness, you make the tasks more enjoyable, tapping into intrinsic motivation. Finally, praising your child for the effort, not just the end result. Reinforcing positive behavior with encouragement, such as you did a great job picking up those toys. Positive reinforcement boosts their motivation and helps them associate the task with positive feelings, making them feel more likely to participate willingly in the future. Number three is identifying root causes of avoidance. Why it happens. When a child avoids a task, it is easy to assume that they simply lack motivation or interest. However, avoidance behavior is often more complex and can be influenced by a variety of external or internal factors that may not be immediately apparent. It is important to dig deeper and consider underlying reasons beyond the unwillingness. Other internal factors could be fatigue, hunger, thirst, lack of sleep, pain, discomfort, or even emotional triggers such as anxiety, embarrassment, fear of failure, or burnout. These factors help to identify the triggers that may be influencing your child's behavior. Imagine that you had a big presentation at work and your worst nightmare is public speaking. Because of the social anxiety, you had difficulty sleeping. All of these internal factors may lead to potentially calling out of work or struggling through the presentation. Scientific insight. Before jumping to conclusion about why a child is not completing a task, it is important to rule out basic needs. For example, ensuring the child is well rested, fed, and comfortable can help address these potential roadblocks. If basic needs are not the issue, you may be dealing with an escape maintained behavior where the child avoids the task to escape an unpleasant demand. Basic needs and task engagement. A study conducted by Schwartz and colleagues in 2003 explored how sleep deprivation affects children's behavior and cognitive performance. The study found that children who were sleep deprived demonstrated significantly lower task performance and increased avoidance behavior compared to when they were well rested. Specifically, sleep deprived children were 40% more likely to engage in off task behaviors such as avoiding assignments or disengaging from activities. This highlights the critical role that basic needs like sleep play in task completion. A study conducted by Torres in 2005 reviewed several studies of hunger and its effect on cognitive performance and behavior in children. The review concluded that children who experienced hunger showed a 30% decrease in their ability to concentrate and complete academic tasks. Hunger was also linked to increased irritability and task avoidance. Ensuring children are well fed can significantly enhance their ability to engage in tasks. And finally, a study conducted by Smith and his colleagues in 2007 showed environmental comfort, such as room temperature and noise level, was shown to affect children's engagement in tasks. When children were in a more comfortable environment, their task completion rate increased by 25% compared to when they were in an uncomfortable or distracting setting. This research supports the idea that discomfort, whether physical or environmental, can significantly hinder a child's ability to complete tasks. Why it matters. These studies suggest that before attributing a child's task avoidance to behavioral or motivational issues, it's important to first ensure their basic needs are met. Poor sleep, hunger, or environmental discomfort can significantly impair task engagement and contribute to avoidance behavior. If these basic needs are addressed and a child continues to avoid the task, it may indicate an escape maintain behavior, which requires specific behavioral interventions, such as altering the demand or using reinforcement strategies. By addressing basic needs and understanding the underlying cause of avoidance, you can create a more effective and supportive environment for your child, which can lead to better task engagement and improved outcomes. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and share. Check out part 2, where I will provide additional reasons why your child may be struggling with completing hard tasks and how to address them directly.